appreciate that. Good morning to you all. And we're back again on this Thursday. It is raining, and that is good news. Trust me, do not abhor the rain. We're in a drought, and I think we're like not a couple of inches, we're inches. That the slow rain that we're having now is a good situation because it doesn't run off. It gives a chance to soak in and get our lake levels and all this other stuff back up. But anyway, good morning to you. And we have producing again today, the most famous producer in this world, and that is Tammy Quick. Give her a round of applause. Yay! She got it going on. Amen. So we have before us today Miss Robin Chadwick. I've seen her before, not had the opportunity to talk to her. But she's in this morning. She's a lifelong resident of Spring Lake. And the topic of conversation this morning is going to be about Manchester Elementary School and the challenges that community is facing with the recommendation that Manchester be closed and those students be moved over to W.T. Brown. So that's what we're here to talk about. And let her have her say. And the last half of the hour, if you want to call in, we'll take some calls. Okay, but anyway, good morning, Ms. Chadwick.
Good morning.
Excellent. And she's an educator herself, works DOD, correct?
Yes.
She's a DOD educator. Also, you represent some things for East Carolina University.
I do. I'm a Charlotte Hawkins Brown Fellow, and what we do is we specialize in standards for African American students, and so I've been doing a lot of studying about how to influence diversity within the African American schools. And I'm proud to be a Charlotte Hawkins Brown Fellow, and I'll be graduating from the fellowship in June, so I'm very excited about that.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yes.
Also, she and I share with some friends, the Lucas family. I was sharing with him. I come to know former Representative Marvin Lucas later in my life. However, his first cousin, who actually lived with them for a while and grew up with him, Mr. Robert L. Lucas, was a grade school teacher of mine and a person that I admired tremendously. He's no longer with us. He's transitioned to be with the Lord. His wife was my best friend's sister. She graduated from Charlottetown High School in Littleton, North Carolina. Uh-huh. And those two, they matched up. I know that their daughter at one time was Miss Fayetteville.
Yes, Kim.
So, but he's a great guy. I remember I went to his retirement, and I had the opportunity to speak at his retirement. Now, that was so kind of funny now, look, because they, they had somebody come in right with him with the hat and the walk and his briefcase and all that. Now, he is our own version of Joe Clark.
Yes.
From the movie Lean on Me. I mean, because he was, that's how I met him. Back during that time in the 60s, and we were still in a segregated school system. They could paddle you. Like I said, he was 7th and 8th grade teacher because they interchanged those classes, and I was in the 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. But look, I wasn't going up there. I know that, man. That big paddle, them guys that thought they were rough and tough, they went up there and popped them. When I saw them coming back crying, I said, oh, no. I ain't doing that. But in a positive way, I'm saying about Mr. Lucas now, he was too smooth, man. He had that 1965 GTO, and we had never seen that before. He was some kind of smooth. And I never forget this guy. When it comes to an educator that impacted my life. This man impacted my life more than any other grade school teacher. Now, before I read Alec Haley's book, Roots, he talked to us about the whole thing where the young men were taken out, they were circumcised and the whole thing. He talked about that to us. I'm talking about probably 1965, 66. He brought that up to our class. And just a tremendous person. I know I'm talking about him, but I'm just,
Absolutely.
A great guy and was a part of Spring Lake.
Oh, yes.
Right. So, but you're here to talk about Manchester. You served on the board there in Spring Lake for how many sessions?
4 years. Well, at that time we had 2-year terms, so I served 2 terms. My first term as mayor pro tem, and then my second term as commissioner.
Okay, all righty. Well, let's talk about this whole thing with Spring Lake. Actually, your mayor called me and said that you guys want to come in and talk about it, and she brought your name up with that, and so let's discuss that.
Okay.
So now, what's your guys' take on that? With what the board decision, what they propose to do, and why you disagreeing with that? Why are we where we are, and you're in front of me now?
Okay, so I just want to revert back to some months ago when they were having conversations about closing Manchester.
Right.
And so it captured my attention because I am a product of Manchester. And I know that we had already had 2 schools that had already closed down, which were Maywood Williams, and we had Lillian Black to already close down. And I began to think a 3rd school in our community is not good. It's not good economic development. And one of the things that I thought about is this is going to be a hardship not only on our community, but our children. And what I thought about is they have never really invested in Spring Lake. We have always been given the crumbs, never been given the whole loaf of bread. And I said, why not invest back in our community? We have done a lot of work to rebuild our community. I mean, as a commissioner, you want to do what's best for your community. And whatever decisions you make is impactful. And to close a school right here in our community at the peak season of our growth would do detrimental harm to our community. We are building new housing right here in Spring Lake, as well as a luxury apartment complex. So the decision to close a school at our peak economic development would be just harmful, not only to the community, but to the students. We only not looked at the impact of the closure, but we looked at the long bus rides. We looked at a lot of families are still without transportation. They don't own transportation. So one of the things that was told to us in the meetings was, as soon as they close Manchester, they're going to send all of our children over to W.T. Brown. And once W.T. Brown reaches capacity, then they would bus our students to Ponderosa Elementary School. It doesn't make good logic sense. We have looked at all the information provided to us, and we went through the assessment piece by piece. And we found that a lot of the information provided, it just didn't match up to what they say was the reasons why they're closing us down, which was, they said it was underutilized, and that the students, and that there was no growth in Spring Lake. And so to say all those things are not true. It's just simply not true.
So the capacity of the school is 407, and I think you guys have something like 295 students there, something like that.
Well, they started at 295, but it's actually over 300 now.
Okay.
It's over I believe it's like 313.
Okay.
But that does not maximize we are in phase 2 of our housing development, and it definitely impacts Fort Bragg, because a lot of Fort Bragg families are moving right into our community. And so we're in phase 2. It's gonna continue to 3 phases. And we have a luxury apartment complex that's gonna house over 240 families. Plus, we have Carl Manning, who's building more housing in Spring Lake. He has already built a tremendous number of housing right here in Spring Lake. So families are coming. They're moving into our community, but we're not giving them options of schools.
So now, but this is a K through what?
K through 5.
A K-5. But you have middle school there, correct?
We have one middle school, which is Spring Lake Middle.
Spring Lake Middle. You don't know what the capacity of that school is?
I do not.
Right.
I do not.
But all of your schools are feeder schools to Pine Forest, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Understood. So, I guess we're looking at. Do you know how old that school is?
Manchester is. I'm gonna say I know it's over 60 years old.
Right.
So it is an aging school. But however, the structural capacity of the school, it does need some TLC, but it's not to the point where some other schools are far worse, and they're keeping those schools open, just like Beaver Dam. Beaver Dam has just as much structural damage, and they're keeping that school open.
Now, Beaver Dam, though, in their defense, they are really way out there. They're not close to anything. So I don't think that's quite a fair comparison because, you're 2 miles, less than 2 miles or so away from W.T. Brown. It's not inside of the town limits of Spring Lake, but you're right there. But I think Beaver Dam, not trying to defend one way or the other, but I think they're about like 12, 13, maybe 15 miles away. Because, Beaver Dam is way out there. I mean, I just have to be out there.
I understand that, but if you're going to be impartial, it should be across the board. And the thing is that the criteria that they're using to close us down should be the criteria that they use for every other school. And even though Spring Lake may be in close proximity to some things, we're still not getting the same equitable treatment as other schools. We never have, And part of the problem is we have an $800 million deferred maintenance deficit that has not been looked at. And the thing is that instead of providing maintenance to our schools in a timely fashion, they have not done that. And so they have allowed our school to fall apart. And now they're saying it's unfit for our children, along with being underutilized. But the thing is that you have not put back, you have not done the work that you should have done to keep our school maintenance. And that is one of the biggest problems that they're saying is that structurally it's not fit for our children. Well, if it's not, then rebuild us another school. You're building schools everywhere else, especially out in West Fayetteville, and we should have the same equitable decision for Spring Lake.
I agree with you on that, and I've heard that, Ms. Chadwick, a lot about saying that there was not equitable distribution of the maintenance. Do you guys have some public records to back that up? I mean, there should have been some type of submissions to the people that are responsible for that at the school board, whereas that if you asked for something and it didn't get answered, I mean, are there documents to back that up?
We definitely have asked for documents, and one thing that I will say that I'm very proud of is because our mayor and Mayor Pro Tem at the time even reached out to Dr. Bracy. Okay, and Dr. Bracy came out to our schools in Spring Lake, and they did a walk around together, and where they went around the school and they talked about things that needed to be repaired. We've been very vocal about the condition of our schools. Even at that time, Commissioner Sonia Cooper, she noticed that there were a lot of things that needed to be repaired at Spring Lake Middle, just as she was doing a community drive-through. And she stopped and she took pictures and she made some phone calls. And so we've been very vocal and active in letting our representative for Spring Lake know that, look, we see the conditions of our schools. So we've been very active in letting people know, reaching the right people and the right sources to talk about the conditions of our school. So we didn't just lay dormant. We put the pedal to the metal and we made sure that we reached out and that we spoke about it to the right representatives. And we were, like I said, we were able to sit down with Dr. Bracy and discuss these things and the magnitude of these things. But as far as our school being on the repair list, no cigar.
Yeah, I saw one document that I believe was saying that it would cost about $2.2 million to keep you guys going annually. I guess one thing about these schools is that they're county schools, and so all of Cumberland County, the voters, the residents, the taxpayers, it matters to all of us. All the schools matter, and people in their minds are trying to figure out the best way to make it work for all of Cumberland County. And I understand that you all have a concern, particularly for your neighborhood schools. Like you say, but May Roy Williams that's been closed for how many years now?
Oh my goodness.
Decades, right?
Decades.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so, you talk about the growth of Spring Lake. I saw something a little different than what you were assessing. Are you talking about what you all think is going to happen, or
No, this is not
what is happening?
Is what is happening, not what I think. It's what is happening. We put in a lot of work in our community, and we've had some challenges, just like every other community. But we are committed to building a better Spring Lake, moving Spring Lake forward. And I think each and every commissioner that sits on that board, that is their stance as well, is to move our community forward. And the thing is, rebuilding relationships. I think we most definitely have done that. Rebuilding relationships, getting people out here to help in different aspects with our infrastructure, our economic development. We're sitting down. We're doing the work. I mean, especially as a commissioner, when I was a commissioner, we did the work because we understand the importance of supporting our community. I live in the community. So the same taxes they pay, I pay. And not only that, we pay the highest taxes in Cumberland County. To move to Spring Lake, we have to be able to offer our citizens something,
What do you mean you pay the highest taxes in Cumberland County?
Our property tax rate is extremely high. We pay 74 cents on every $100. It's extremely high.
So you're saying that's the highest in Cumberland County?
It is. It is. And not only that, we have reached out to different companies and people because we want the best for Spring Lake. I've lived in Spring Lake all my life, so I know what a prosperous Spring Lake looks like. And I think that we're definitely headed in the right direction. Anybody that's ever worked for any type of political anything know that it's hard when you're making decisions for a whole entire community. And everybody's not going to always agree on the same things, but the one thing that I can say is that I think we all agree that we want to move Spring Lake forward. And closing another school in our community is not the way to continue to move our school forward.
So you're connecting the school to economic development too as well?
Oh, yeah. Because, think about it. When people move to any neighborhood, one of the things that they're going to look at is the schools. What can the schools offer their children? Every parent wants their child to be educated and have a great quality education. And to be able to move to a community where there's really no schools or you have to travel a great distance, this is the reason why charter schools and private schools are popping up all over the place. Okay? We want to keep our public school open. We want to give our community the option to choose a great elementary school. My son was reared at Manchester Elementary School. He had a great teacher. My son is an A student. He does well in school, but also because I'm an educator myself. And as his mother, I'm not going to allow him to not have a great education. Any child, whether it's my child, my neighbor's child, they deserve to have that. Yeah.
So but you got the middle school and you have the primary school that you have there now, but there's not a high school there. It used to be a junior high system, probably when you came through school, but it's not a junior high system now. We on the middle school concept. But your youngsters are still going to Pine Forest.
Right.
That's not that far away.
No.
It's not that far away. How far away is, you think, Ponderosa is from? I know where it is right there off of Santa Fe.
Well, I believe they said it was like 9 miles, and but there's a school that's even closer than Ponderosa. But the thing is, our children already, the bus wait, they'll probably have to wait even a little bit longer. They might have to get up a little bit earlier now to catch the bus and stuff. And I believe that with everything in me that we have a school that needs to remain open in our community. I don't believe they're looking at the bigger picture. They're not looking at the projected growth of our community. I'm going to be honest. We have one board member that specifically said that Spring Lake was a failing community. Okay? Now, for you to say that, you already have your mind made up about our community. You've never come and sat down with us, had any conversations with us about our community, to know anything about us. But to say that and make that type of statement, especially because Now you're running for a bigger office that's going to support the whole Cumberland County, okay? And to be that partial, you already have your mind made up about Spring Lake.
So, again, a consultant was hired by the school system, and they made an assessment of all of the schools, which was supposed to be the driver of the decisions that are being made now. Is that not true?
Yes.
Right. So, and I guess, these people, they should have been unbiased in what they suggested that should happen with our community. So I don't think it was a bias, particularly by the schools, if they were following what the people that appraised everything said.
Well, we sat down as a community because one of the things that I wanted to do was actively get our community involved. And we sat down and we looked at the assessment, and we found some things that that just didn't make sense to us. And one of the things is that a lot of the $2 million structural assessment, was just facial things, like a new coat of paint would change that. The bathroom stalls, the toilets were discolorated. Okay, well, we can replace toilets. The things that they're saying that in the assessment, we challenged that. And the community, we wrote letters. We shared that information with them. And so the things that they're saying that need to be done, we challenged those things because they didn't make sense. And it didn't make sense. And I can promise you it probably didn't make sense to them either. But, they have to close some schools. But why pick on the one school that really don't need to be closed?
Yes, ma'am. Well, look, we're going to go to a break, come back.
Okay.
And you know what? I believe everybody's going to say the same thing you're saying, though. Nobody wants their school closed.
That's
correct?
right.
I think you all bring valid arguments to the table. But you can't drag everybody across the finish line, I don't think. You would agree with that, though, correct? That with the population, because, we'll talk about it after the break. Going to go to a break, come back. Also, if you want to join in on the conversation, respectfully, give us a call, 910-483-6111. We'll be back following this.
Recent rainfall, including today, has brought some relief to the Tar Heel State, but North Carolina Commissioner of Agriculture Steve Troxler tells NCN News drought concerns remain, especially in the Piedmont. Reports of overnight tornadoes in the Deep South will become clearer with daylight near Jackson, Mississippi. Unconfirmed tornadoes struck in the darkness. Lawmakers at the General Assembly want to put brakes on speeders, and they brought stories of those killed and injured by dangerous driving to help make their case yesterday at the legislature. There are growing concerns about the infected ship carrying 140 people, including 17 Americans, to Spain because of the hantavirus. Charlotte leaders are weighing a property tax increase to fund a major new investment in public safety, including a proposed 10% pay raise for Charlotte and Mecklenburg police officers. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. At about 7:45 p.m. on May 2nd, Fayetteville police officers went out to the 100 block of Riley Road on reports of an individual spray painting a swastika on the side of a building. During the investigation, officers were made aware of a video circulating on social media of a male suspect spray painting other properties with a swastika. Officers identified the suspect as 18-year-old Taquan Vereen of Fayetteville and located him near the scene of the incident. Vereen was taken into custody without incident. He was arrested and charged with damage to real property, 2 counts, and second-degree trespassing. Cumberland County wants to hear from Shaw Heights residents. Cumberland County is asking you for your input on septic systems, wastewater, and housing needs in your neighborhood. Your feedback will guide future decisions about water and sewer improvements. Take the short survey by May 31st of this year. The link to that is up on the Facebook page for Cumberland County. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
With a cold front working its way through the area, we'll have a good chance for showers and a few storms today. Temperatures will remain cooler. We're a bit warmer but comfortable for your Friday, then even warmer with a chance for a few showers for the first half of the weekend. Showers and a brief storm possible this morning with patchy fog. Temperatures mild in the mid-60s. We'll keep that rain chance throughout the day today with highs in the upper 60s to around 70. We'll drop to the upper 40s to around 50 Friday morning. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robinson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Flourish Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Flourish Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Flourish Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
If you have been injured in a motor vehicle collision, you should understand that the insurance company is not on your side. It is the adjuster's job to get by with paying you as little as possible. Call personal injury trial lawyer Brent Adams now for a free no-obligation consultation. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
It's one of life's simplest comforts. Turning on the tap and knowing clean, safe water's there. A glass before bed, a warm shower in the morning, water to cook, clean, and care for loved ones. So often, it's something that can be taken for granted. But behind every drop is a commitment to quality, safety, and service. At Fayetteville PWC, providing award-winning water is more than a service. It is a responsibility and a point of pride. Delivering clean, reliable water remains a top priority for Fayetteville and surrounding communities every single day, because clean water supports healthy families, strengthens neighborhoods, and helps communities thrive today and for generations to come. Discover more about the difference quality water makes at faypwc.com. Fayetteville PWC, always there, always on, always built to serve.
Good Thursday morning. We start your day with a good chance for showers and a brief storm with patchy fog across the area. Temperatures mild in the mid-60s. We'll keep that rain chance throughout the day today with a few storms possible. Highs will only reach the upper 60s and low 70s. Then a few showers are possible early tonight before we clear up. Temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees by Friday morning. We're mostly sunny on Friday. Highs will reach to around 70. I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the NCN Weather Center.
About 22 minutes for the top of the hour here. Again, we have Miss Robin Chadwick. We're talking about the whole school system thing. And in defense of Dr. Bracey, he's been here 11 months now, I think.
Yes.
11 months. So whatever's going on, he walked into it, okay? So he came into it. It was his predecessor, Dr. Connolly, that was the superintendent during that time when the evaluators or assessors or whatever consultants came and they made a determination about what was going on in the schools. I also, not that I'm playing race, but let's be candid with you. I also brought up the fact during the break, that school board is a 9-member board, and 6 of those members are African American women. That's a fact. So, can't be any one person's fault that we're doing anything here, because you got the supermajority of the votes on that board are African American women. So I don't know what they saw to cause them to vote the way that they did, but what do you think?
Well, one thing I will say is I can't speak for them, but I can only speak for what we have observed. And one thing that we have observed is that some of them didn't have all the factual information. And I know that because I have spoken with one of them. And after we have presented information to them, they were able to go back and look at the information in good nature. But I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know how they came to their decision. All we know is that we were not treated fairly. We had to basically demand that we have a forum because they were trying to do the process and do it without following the rules of procedure. And we had to demand that we have a public forum because there are certain procedures that you have to follow even before you close a school down.
Correct.
And I believe that we presented evidence to them that would conclude that our school should remain open. But when you have someone that has already have a mindset, and you can go back and look at the meetings for yourself, and we already know who controls those meetings, you know? And I would encourage everybody to go back and look at those meetings. You can see for yourself. The thing is that we're just asking for our fair share. We have not had an opportunity to sit down with any of the board members besides our representative. And our representative, I'm very proud because this is the first time that Spring Lake has had a representative that actually stood with them and by them. And she has been doing an amazing job keeping us updated as well as, just trying to help us through this process no matter which way it go. But the thing is, I can't tell you what they're thinking. I know what they should be thinking, but at the end of the day, we just want our school to remain open just like any other school. You know, we're asking for a life raft, but it seems like they want to drown our community, and that's not right.
So let me see, is it 3 at-large members or 4? How many at-large members is it?
It's 3.
3 at-large.
It's 3 at-large.
And then your district representatives, who is that?
Dr. Mary Hills.
Okay, all right.
And so the thing is that we are advocating for our community because at the end of the day, when they closed down Lily and Black, it happened so fast that before we could actually advocate, it was already closed.
What year was that? You don't recall?
I can't recall the year, but I know that.
How long ago was that?
Well, it might have been like 4 or 5 years ago because at that time we had just came into office. We were just newly elected board members. At that time we were aldermen, and I know for a fact that the mayor, our Mayor Kia Anthony, and I attended the meeting, the forum, which was held at Lillian. No, was it held at W.T. Brown or? I think it was held at W.T. Brown. But we attended that board, the community forum, and next thing you know, the school was closed. And so we definitely want to keep our eye on Manchester because of the sentiments that happened with Lily and Black.
Well, I guess, question, is your concern then if, because W.T. Brown is a newer school, and it's not really, is it really an inconvenience for the youngsters to go less than 2 miles over to that school? Are you more concerned about is what you mentioned earlier, the overflow, and them saying that they would be attending Ponderosa versus if they all fit inside of W.T. Brown, that seems like that would be a good situation with the youngsters coming out of an older school into a newer school, and it's right there by where you are. I mean, it's not, You know where it is.
Right. Of course I know where it is, but it seems like a good resolution, but it's not, because we're not looking at the overgrowth that is going to happen. I mean, even if we took all of our children out of Manchester and piled them into W.T. Brown, okay, we risk classroom overcrowding. We still risk children coming out of an environment that they're used to. And there are several schools in Fayetteville that parents can choose and select from. Okay, you want to close all the schools in Spring Lake, which leaves no school to be selected from. This is the only school. And so if this becomes the only school, then what parents are going to do is say, you know what, let's look at charter schools and public schools. Now, we're already having issues with public funding, okay? You know, we want our community school to stay open. This is the last remaining school in our Spring Lake community.
Primary school.
Primary school. Now, we still have Spring Lake Middle, but to me, it's just going to be a domino effect. First, you know, you close down Mayra Williams, then you close down Lillian Black. Now you want to close down Manchester, and then sooner or later you're going to say you want to close down Spring Lake Middle. So we want our schools to remain open because we are looking at the projected growth that will happen for Spring Lake. You know, our students should not be the butt of the joke. To me, it's a running joke. Because one thing that they always say about Spring Lake is that Spring Lake is not a good community. Spring Lake, we are a great community. I've lived here all my life, and good things come out of Spring Lake. We've had some very professional people come out of Spring Lake and do good things, not just for Spring Lake, but other communities as well. We have not been given the opportunity. We have not been given funds like other communities have. We have been left behind, and that's a fact. And now we're just asking that you do the same for us as you would do for any other community.
When you say funds, you like school funds, or you talking about funds in general?
We talking investment period. Investment period. Spring Lake has not, I mean, we've had to fight for investment. One of the things I can say is that even before Mr. Lucas left office, you know, he went to the General Assembly and he was able to get funding for our community. We've had to fight for our fair portion of things. I mean, everybody knows that as well. So my main concern is that we have people that are sitting on the board that understand what it is to run a community, to fight for a community. And so they should be more understanding. We're not asking for anything that any other community is not asking for. And so for them to leave us out of the equation, want to close everything up in Spring Lake, that's not fair to us. Make everything equitable for us as you would any other community. We're asking for fair, equitable distribution, and we have not received that. I remember even at Manchester, one of the things that we had concerns about, there were no stalls on the bathroom doors, you know, and they had put in work orders for these things. Things were done in an untimely fashion or not done at all. And so now you're looking at this huge deficit. You're looking at our community and saying, well, close this school down in this community. I just don't think it's fair. And I just don't think that it allows our children the best educational opportunity. I really don't.
So a decision would be made Tuesday regarding these things?
Yes. Yes. And so one of the things that we're asking our community to do is come together for a day of prayer, which we're having on May the 11th. We really care about our community. We care about our students. We care about our schools. And we're very passionate about making sure that every child that attends school in Spring Lake receives a fair share of equitable distribution, education, and anything other than that is just educational genocide.
Well, I think that they have some tough decisions to be made. I know you're thinking about Spring Lake, but holistically, out of Cumberland County, do you think some of these schools need to be closed?
I don't think they necessarily need to be closed. because we have looked at the data, and we know that smaller classroom settings provide tremendous growth for students. And one of the things that we're dealing with is classroom overcrowding. I think that they need to find a way to reinvest back in our schools. Do what's right. I don't know how it came to this, where they were not maintaining school. I know that we've had some educational funds being cut here and there, but they also need to look at their top heavy. Maybe look at, reducing some of those positions at the top. I don't know, maybe consolidate some of the K2, 3, 5 schools. There's other things that can be done besides closing schools that matter to the communities. Like I said, I'm still going to be transparent. We're not closing Beaver Dam. We're not closing Massey Hill Classical. If you're going to close our school, then you should close all of them. Be fair, be equitable. Don't just finger point at us, because we want our schools to remain open too. I know there's hard decisions, and we understand that, but we have always been part of that hard decision.
Were those 2 schools initially on the closure list too?
Yes.
I think Algebra Wilkins is on that list.
Yes.
Well, I think we do have a challenge. When you admit that we have a challenge with older schools, the lighting, I see window units, because I live right by Long Hill.
Oh, yeah.
And I drive past those window units, and when I'm out near the mall area off of Skybo, I'm looking at that, and those things have to be noisy, and the teacher got to talk above that. I remember when some of those schools had issues with lead in the school, it was lead in the paint, because at that time we didn't have, it's a different world.
Oh, yeah.
People weren't looking at those kinds of things. I think we need new schools all around. And I don't know how they're going to fix all of that. I just don't know how they're going to fix it, because I would agree with you. Even the board chair of the Board of Commissioners admits that if we don't have, he said the number one thing that they ask our economic development team is, people want to come here, they want to know about the schools. And if you don't rank high in that area, that's going to be a mark against you. But we are a whole community though. And I know Beaver Dam is fighting for what they want, and Massey Hills is fighting for what they want, and East Smith, Broad Hill area is fighting for what they want, Spring Lake is fighting for what they want. I sympathize with all of you all, but I don't know who is going to be disappointed, but I don't think everybody's going to be happy after Tuesday. Right. I think it's almost like when you're playing basketball, you got your favorite team, but somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose.
Right. And I definitely agree with that. At the end of the day, some people are going to win and some people are going to lose, but I hope that we're on the winning side. I really do. I think our community deserves that. I think we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt the discrepancies of the assessment. We have, they were not expecting our community to come out and support, and we showed them, if anything, we showed them a community united, because we came together as a community, and I feel good about our community standing together, standing strong in this process, in this fight. At the end of the day, the love that we have for our community, it says it best. If you go back and you look at any of we showed up. We showed up at the board meetings. We showed up for our community. And that's what matters, is that we are standing united.
Right. I understand. Mm-hmm. Well, the only question I would have, or pushback I would give anyone, is that the 9 members on that board and the collective board has to be responsible. Blaming one person with 9 members don't make sense to me, because they all have a vote. And you have a supermajority African American female vote on that board. And, you know, it is what it is, but still, you can't ignore that fact. From where I'm sitting, I mean, that's just how I see things, you know what I mean? I'm looking at who is making the decisions. And so, now, they're not in front of this microphone.
Right.
And it's not because I haven't asked them to be. Because I want to know, too, you know, how did you arrive at this decision? But I can't, you know, I can't hold a gun on people and make them come in here
Right.
in front of me. You see what I'm saying? But I would love to have talked to them as well, and I've been trying to get them, some members to talk to me. And, of course, I know Miss Dr. Hills well enough. But still, others, I don't know, especially when I went out there when they had the 27 failing schools. I heard about that, and I went to that meeting. What I found interesting, is Chadwick, that there wasn't nobody holler in that room that night. So are we concerned about that? You know, these schools are not performing the way they should perform. I'm not pointing the finger because I don't know why they're not performing the way they should perform, but still, you know, make it make sense.
Well, you know, like you said, it's not just a one-person decision, okay?
Right.
And we have to look at the whole. And I think that we've done that. We're concerned about the disparaging comments that are being made. Because if you're going to represent Cumberland County as a whole, there's no place for that. So you already have your mind made up, and without even looking at the bigger total picture. Education right now is just hard altogether.
Sure.
And you got to look at that. Teachers want to come in and do the very best job every single day of their lives.
Right.
But sometimes it's not always possible.
Right.
We're the only state that have not passed the budget. Teachers are going through a lot of challenges with behavior. Spring Lake is one of those communities. We're at a socioeconomic disadvantage because we do have a certain portion of our community that's at economic lower disadvantage. But
I was going to ask you that question. What's the average income of Spring Lake resident?
You know what? I had that information down.
Okay. No
I can't think of it off the top of my mind but what I will say is that we have parents that work more than one job. They want to be involved. I had parents that reached out to me that actually wanted to make the meetings. They couldn't make the meetings, but they wrote letters.
Sure.
They signed our petition because it's about, in this day and age, trying to make it, trying to keep your head above water.
Right.
Okay? And sometimes as a single parent, you're the only income.
I guess one of the indicators would be the number of kids that qualify for free lunch in the schools.
Right.
Do you know what that is when you look at Manchester?
I think it's 97%. I believe it's 97% of the students qualify for free lunch.
97%. Wow.
Qualify for free lunch. And even in the summer times, I know our community is a designated area for.
The school bring lunches out
right.
to youngsters. Yeah, I know. I think that's a good thing because we don't want kids to be going hungry. That's for sure. 97%. Well, you know, I don't know how it would turn out. I don't have a vote. I wish everybody could be happy. I wish I had a magic wand and go, bang, make everything happen. But I feel like that people that are out there do have to make some very difficult decisions. And they're tasked with the responsibility of looking at the big picture of all of Cumberland County. I don't know what the answer is going to be. I appreciate you coming in and sharing your concerns. I wish you all the best. I live closer to Spring Lake than I do except Fayetteville. But I'm saying, you know, outside of Fayetteville, I live close to Spring Lake. So, you know, I understand. You know what I mean? I have friends there. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We'll see. We'll just have to see what happens, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we still have that mustard seed faith. We're still holding out hope. And, you know, we are still going to continue to fight for our community either way.
Right.
And so at the end of the day, I thank everyone that signed a petition, wrote a letter, that came out to support this endeavor. This was huge for us. But I will tell you that we have a very supportive Board of Commissioners, our mayor, Miss Jackie Jackson, Miss Frederica Sutherland. They have been spot on. And I thank the mayor for standing up and standing with me and for us, for our community, and even Miss Jackie Jackson, who has been relentless, and Miss Sutherland, who are currently on the board. And, you know, that's the difference. So whether we get the results that we hope for, if we don't, we are still going to move forward as a community. But we are praying that our school remains open. And that's it.
Right.
That's
Well, look,
it.
I appreciate you coming in, and happy Mother's Day to you guys.
Thank
coming up
you.
on Sunday. You know, they give all y'all the love. Us fathers, man, they just, we don't get it the way y'all get it. We ain't mad with you, but you know, we don't get it the way y'all get it. Flower shops, just everything goes all out. But you know, on Father's Day, you ain't got to fight to get in a restaurant. The line is down the street, round the corner on
That's
Mother's
right.
Day.
A mother's work is never done.
All right. Well, look, appreciate you. You're welcome to come back. I tell you what, when it's all said and done, you want to come back, we can mesh it out, discuss it. It's fine with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You've been an excellent guest. I think you've been objective about this, and I think that's what we need, objectivity. But look, you have a great rest of your day, and the rest of you all,